It's time to stop consuming and start hobbies. So many of us in our society are doing nothing but consuming, whether it's we're scrolling, watching videos, we're eating, buying this, that, and the third that somebody recommended on TikTok. Enough. The time is now to bring that energy back to yourself. So today I'm going to talk about 3 hobbies that I did in 2025 that I've continued on that has really helped me stop consuming and stop scrolling. And now I have to remember to find time to actually scroll and do the things that I used to do. Between pottery, tennis, and swimming, each of these things taught me something vital for my life. Pottery taught me it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to work through mistakes, and there's beauty in everything. Tennis taught me there are going to be ups and downs in life. You're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. It's important to stay neutral. And also it's important to remain resilient. Swim taught me to flow with life. Don't work against it. Don't fight against it. And in this video, I'm going to break down each of those things and kind of how they helped molded me into where I am today. And hopefully that encourages somebody else to start hobbies and just begin. Look at it, has a twin. I love her. So a little bit about me and how I even got into these hobbies. So in 2024, I did nothing but consume. I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. I bought things on Amazon, on Target, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was scrolling and I was consuming. That's all I was doing. And it left me feeling unfulfilled. So by mid 2024, probably like towards fall of 2024, I stopped consuming. I told myself, I was like, okay, I read this book, which I'll put it somewhere. And it really changed my life, and it changed my perspective on how much I actually consume. And I gave myself like a little timeline. I was like, okay, for the rest of this year, I'm not gonna consume. I'm just gonna sit in boredom and see where it takes me. And honestly, boredom breeds creativity. So for a couple months, I was bored. I was doing a few things, but then I was like, hold on. All the problems that I thought that I had, I no longer had. Job was steady, relationship fine, every day-to-day is fine. And I was like, okay, I'm looking around, the coast is clear. It's kind of my time to do the things that I always said that I want to do. So hand building, I really wanted to get familiar with clay and understand how clay works, how it feels, and just get my hands familiar with doing something again. I'm so excited to share my pottery. This was my first piece that I did, and I hated it. When I first came into hand building in general, I thought I was gonna go in there and just perfect it automatically. Like, okay, it's not that hard, it's not that, whatever. But what I quickly realized with hand building is there is beauty in the mistakes. So once you learn to accept that your hands are meant to create, there is no mistakes. You can keep going and just have whatever flow. You'll be okay. And also to let go of the outcome. This piece right here is like a snack tray. I was inspired by somebody on TikTok, but I'll show a picture of how I use this. And originally I hated this. I didn't know what I was doing as far as like the colors, but I hated it at first, but I was like, you know what? I'm kind of rolling with it. This one is also like a little snack tray, or like you put like a sauce here, put whatever, chips, sushi, whatever. I love it. I'm also going to post how I use that. After hand building, I started to gain some confidence with myself and also with my creativity. I realized, like, you know what? I don't have to be so strict in creating. I don't have to be so strict in, hey, I wanted it to look just like this, and if it didn't come out that way, now I'm pissed off. I don't want to go back to the class. No. Every single day that I went to the class gave me an opportunity to try something different and learn something different and kind of remold. Everything can be remolded unless it's dried, but everything can be remolded. Okay, so I graduated to wheel, and again, I went in there ego, straight up like, oh, this is not difficult. All I got to do, boom, center, and I'm good. No. Wheel taught me to let go. Because one thing about it, if you've ever taken the pottery class or if you've been thinking about taking the pottery class, your creation that you think is going to be so great, within, if you go a little bit too deep, it's ruined. If you go a little too wide, it's ruined. Will teaches you to move the fuck on. Like, honestly, will teaches you cannot be in the past. If something did not work out, it's kind of different than hand building. Hand building, you can kind of remold it and reshape it into what you want. But pottery or will teaches you, you got to let go. You got to move on. You got to try again. So will, this was my first piece. Oh my gosh. I love this piece. My favorite thing about will is dipping. Look at how pretty these are. Oh my gosh. Okay, the second hobby that I'm going to talk about is tennis. Oh my God. Tennis, I'm actually so excited to talk about it, but when I first started it, girl, I went in there thinking I was about to be Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Coco. I'm thinking I'm about to just do it. Mind you, a little bit background about me, I've never in my life played a sport. I've always thought sports were manly for women, which is ignorant. I always thought sports were just not meant for me. Like, ew, why would you play a sport? That was really ignorance. Tennis honestly taught me resilience. Tennis is one of those things that I did not realize how much work it actually takes. Even watching the sport, it looks so easy, it looks so simple. Actually being out there and realizing that it takes so much skill to just get a back and forth rally made me want to quit on myself, honestly. The second week into the 10-week program, I didn't want to go back because I was like, what the fuck is this? If I'm not good by the first or second one, then I'm done. But I think sports in general, not just tennis, I think sports in general teaches you it doesn't matter whether, you win or lose. You have to show up. You have to show up and you have to put in that effort. And also it shows you who you are in a way. For tennis, I realized I was a quitter. I realized before doing that, I quit on myself so many times, not just in sports, but just in different things that I had done in my life. I quit on myself too easy. Tennis was one of those things where like, okay, you paid for this program, you paid to be here, so why would you quit? I had to see it through the embarrassment, through, feeling like I was shitty, through all of it, I made it through. And I think that's another thing that built my confidence last year to kind of get me to where I am today. I still play tennis. I love tennis now. After that 10-week program though, oh my gosh, my confidence again, ego, boom, through the roof. I signed up for a tennis league. So I'm thinking it's going to be a bunch of beginners. No. The people on this team, they were beginners, but they had already been playing tennis since high school or had a college scholarship or something like that. So in my head, these are professionals, right? So every single week we had a game or a match. Oh, I lost every single match except for one. And the one that I did win was forfeited because the other team just didn't want to show up. So I had to, and through the embarrassment, through feeling like I was so shitty, through the tears because I wanted to be a perfectionist in this so bad. I wanted to be good. Through all of that, I couldn't quit on myself. I was scared. I hated it. I hated feeling like I was the one that was holding everybody back. But my team was so supportive of me. And what I realized is, and when I looked around, nobody was winning their games. Everybody was just having fun. And it didn't click until after the league was over that tennis is about having fun. Yes, it's a sport. Yes, it's a competitive sport. But the whole thing of it all is to have fun. And I think in life, I needed to be taught that. Pottery taught me many things, but tennis taught me to just stop worrying about outcomes and stop holding on so much about, oh, I need to win, or oh my God, what if I lose? It doesn't matter if you win or lose, you're here to have fun. Swimming taught me to flow with life. Swimming taught me it is okay to release stress, let go, and just let the water take you. For my entire life, I've never really known anybody that knew how to swim in my community. It just is what it is. And I always felt like I didn't need to know how to swim, because why would I? I wasn't in situations where I was in pools often, or I went to the ocean, things like that. If I went to a beach or the ocean, I'm right by the tide. And what really inspired me to swim is I went on a vacation with my boyfriend and we went snorkeling. And everybody knew how to swim. It was a lot of Black people who also knew how to swim. And that was my first time seeing a bunch of Black people who knew how to do this life skill that in my communities, I didn't see a lot of people doing. So that was the first time that I felt like, oh, I'm a little behind. So once I came back from that vacation, I kind of pondered on it, and it took me until after tennis, after pottery, to be like, okay, I think I have enough confidence where I want to immerse myself into something completely new that I'm completely scared of doing. So I signed up for swim classes, which, I could have given so many excuses. I had the excuse of, oh my God, my hair. Oh my God, if I drown. Oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of holding myself back. Why don't I just do it and see how it goes, right? The first class did not give. The first class, automatically, when I tell you, I've probably only been in the pool prior to this maybe 3-4 times in my life, and I'm 30. So I was like, ooh, looking around, like I was shook. And then everybody in my class, they were pretty new too, so they made me feel good, And the first thing we had to do after blowing bubbles and doing all of that, the very first thing we had to do is float on our backs. What? The entire class, everybody had already floated on their back and they were going to whatever this is, whatever that is. I had the instructor close. I'm like, baby, I'm terrified. And I think when she went to go help everybody else, because I told her just leave me alone. Let me just calm down, right? I started to think about meditation. At this time, I wasn't taking meditation super serious, but I had already done research on it. So I was like, okay, let me just relax and put myself into the water, do the bubbles, and just lift my feet, just try to get comfortable in the water, which I did. And I ended up telling myself this, which is so dramatic, but I was like, if I tilt my head back, belly up, like how she said, and I go to float, then I float. What is the worst that can happen? And if I drown here, then I drown here. I drown trying. That's all I could think of. And mind you, we was in 3 feet water. But I did that and I floated and I loved it. And then I started moving my hands and I was tensing up. And then I was like, okay. It took me a little bit. By that second class, I was able to float. I was able to backstroke. Then after that, I was like, okay, I want to learn how to swim forward, which is stupid to say. It's like regular swimming, but I couldn't really grasp that. I thought I was going to fall, honestly. But then something told me you have to flow with the water. And when you fight the water, that's when you lost. So instead of me trying to learn how to swim and trying to apply force, I just leaned forward and allowed myself to float. And I just started to move my hands, and naturally I became one with the water, and I taught myself how to swim. Of course, my instructor was there, but I taught myself how to relax in my body, how to let things be, how to let life flow, how to let water flow. And what is that quote? Be like water or be like the ocean. I don't know. But I really took that and went with it. And now I love swimming. I swim all the time now, even in the winter. If you're somebody that in 2026, you're debating on getting a hobbies, or, you're like, what should I do? I'm not really a creative. I'm not really this type of person. Start with maybe one of these things. Maybe you already know how to swim, but you haven't done tennis. Or maybe you've done both and you kind of want to get your hands dirty. You want to learn something and be a little bit creative. Try pottery. These things are the pillar and the foundation of who I am today, because they taught me so many things that I did not know about myself that I'm carrying into this year.